Good morning, cadets. Let us solve some problems. Today we will solve two problems. Problems on simple harmonic motion. Yesterday we discussed about the oscillations due to a spring, how they are simple harmonic in nature, right? Now let us solve a problem on a spring again. A block of mass 1 kg, is fastened to a spring. The spring has a spring constant of 50 Newton per meter. The spring has a spring constant K 50 Newton per meter. The block is pulled to a distance of 10 centimeter. It is pulled to a distance of 10 centimeter. Means amplitude is 10 centimeter. From the equilibrium position at x equal to 0 on a frictionless surface at time t equal to 0. Means before it is released, it is at its extreme position at 10 centimeter. Calculate the kinetic, potential and total energies of the block when it is 5 centimeter away from the main position. When you just stretch it and release, the block starts moving towards the equilibrium position. When it is 5 centimeter from the main position, you are asked to calculate what is its potential energy here, what is its kinetic energy here, and what is its total energy at 5 centimeter from the equilibrium position. This is the numerical problem. So this can be solved from the equations which we have discussed yesterday. So first we will write answer. What are all the given things? Mass of the block M is equal to 1 kg. M is equal to 1 kg. Spring constant K is equal to 50 Newton per meter. Then amplitude, maximum displacement, that is what amplitude. A is equal to 10 centimeter, that is equal to 0.1 meter. Right? Then XT is 5 centimeter. So I am just writing what are all the given things. When it is 5 centimeter, so x at the time t is 5 centimeter. So in terms of meter, it becomes 0.05 meter. These are all the given things, right? And equilibrium position is x equal to 0, right? Now first we shall get the equation for angular frequency. Angular frequency omega equal to square root of m by k. K by m, I think, yes. Square root of k by m. Because m omega square is equal to k, therefore omega is equal to square root of k by m, where k is the spring constant, m is the mass of the block. So spring constant is 50 and mass of the block is 1 kg. So it becomes square root of 50. So square root of 50, if you take out, it is 7 point something. 7 sevens are 49. So if you calculate it, it comes out to be 7.07 radian per second. 7.07 radian per second, square root of 50. Now from this, we will write the equation for displacement at 5 centimeter. XT displacement, we have XT equal to A cos omega t. We will assume that initial phase is 0. So we will write A cos omega t. We know what is A. A is 0.1. Omega also is calculated 7.07 and t we don't know, we will write it as it is. Xc is given 0.05 meter. So just substitute this, it becomes 0.05 centimeter equal to 0.1 cos omega Omega is 7.07 t. So this is cos omega t. So from this, what is the value of cos omega t? We can obtain. Therefore, cos omega t, that is cos of 7.07 t, cos omega t is equal to 0.05 divided by 0.1. So that becomes 0.5. So for what angle we have cos equal to 1 by 2? Cos 60 equal to 1 by 2. Okay. So this is equal to cos pi by 3. So 7.07 t must be equal to 60 degree. So that is 7.07 t equal to pi by 3. Cos 60 is 1 by 2. Right? Now using this, I can write what is the value of sine. Therefore, sine 7.07 t, that is nothing but sine 60. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2. Right? Cos 60 is 0.5. It implies sine 60 is root 3 by 2. So root 3 is 1.7 divided by 0.2. So if you calculate that, root 3 by 2, it comes out to be 0.866. Root 3 is 1.71. 1.71 divided by 2. If you carry out, it becomes 0.866. So this is sine value, sine omega t, and this is cos omega t. Okay. Now this is cos omega t and sin omega t are required to find the value of velocity. To find the value of velocity, we know already the displacement. Displacement is 0.05, that is 5 centimeter. So at 5 centimeter, what is its velocity if we calculate? Then we can calculate what is the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. So what is the velocity at this 5 centimeter from the equilibrium position? That we can calculate. So velocity at time t. So I can write it as speed at time t. It is given by a omega from this equation. Differentiation of this dx by dt, if we carry out, it becomes minus omega a sin omega t. A omega sin omega t. Since we are calculating speed, so we can take the modulus. Modulus if we take, then we can modulus of negative value will be positive. So speed at time t, vt is equal to a omega sin omega t. So just substitute the value of a. A is maximum displacement, that is 10 centimeter, that is 0.1, and omega, we have got it 7.07 into sin omega t. Sin omega t already calculated. Sin 7.07 t, it is 0.866. 0.866. So if you calculate this, this comes out to be about 0.61 meter per second. 0.61 meter per second. So this is giving us the velocity at this instant of time at 5 centimeter, or speed at this time. So now I can calculate what is the value of kinetic energy at this point, half mv square. That is half m into v square, square of this, half m into 0.61 whole square. So that if we calculate, we will get the kinetic energy. Therefore, kinetic energy at 5 centimeter displacement is equal to half m v square, half m v square, that is at that instant of time, what is the velocity just now we have calculated. So that becomes half into 1 kg into v, 0.61 into 0.61. So if you calculate this, then kinetic energy is also going to be at that time, kinetic energy at that time is equal to, if you calculate this, the calculated value is 0.19 joule. 0.19 joule. You can call this equation number 1. So once we get the kinetic energy, now we can calculate what is potential energy. Potential energy at that instant of time at 5 centimeter. Potential energy at 5 centimeter is equal to half kx square, half kx square. So we know k, spring constant. So u at that time is equal to half into 50 into x. X is 5 centimeter. 5 centimeter is written as 0.05 square of this. 0.05 into 0.05. So if you cancel it, it becomes 25. 25 is a 625. 625, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0.0625 joules. 0.0625 joules. So this becomes the potential energy at that 5 centimeter distance. All this equation number 2. Therefore, total energy is nothing but total mechanical energy of the oscillating spring at 5 centimeter. E equal to k at that time plus potential energy at that time. Adding the equation 1 and 2, we get the total energy. Equation 1 is 0.19 plus 0.0625. So if you take it up to 2 decimal points, it becomes 0.25 joules, neglecting the remaining decimals. So we get energy at 5 centimeter, total energy at 5 centimeter is 0.25. Now the calculation is over. This is equation number 3. Now you can verify this, whether this result is correct or not. How do we verify? When you stretch this block to the maximum displacement at 10 centimeter, maximum displacement is called as amplitude. So when it is stretched before that stretched spring is released, the stretched spring is having total energy in the form of potential energy alone. There is no kinetic energy. Therefore, total energy at 10 centimeter we can calculate. When the spring is stretched to 10 centimeter displacement, then get 10 centimeter distance. The total energy at extreme end is purely potential energy. Total energy at extreme end is purely potential energy. That is, you can call maximum potential energy. Maximum potential energy is given by half k a square, where a is the amplitude. Just calculate. Therefore, maximum potential energy at extreme end is equal to half into 50 into maximum displacement is 10 centimeter. So 0.1 into 0.1 meter square in terms of meters. So you can calculate this. It comes out to be again 0.25 joules. That's how you can see total energy at the extremities is 0.25 joules, and at any position the total energy is again sum of kinetic and potential energy. As a result, it becomes 0.25 joules. So conservation of energy is also realized. So that can also be observed here. Therefore, mechanical energy E equal to K plus Q is conserved. So at the extreme ends we get the 0.25. Okay. So this is how one can verify the results. Now let us see the second problem. Look at this second system. Oscillations of a cork on a liquid surface. It need not be always a water surface. Let us say on some liquid surface. Liquid of some density rho. Okay. A cylindrical cork of density sigma. This is a cylindrical cork of density sigma with base area A. With base cylindrical area, circular area A, and height h floats in a liquid of density rho. It is floating on a liquid surface of density rho, right? The cork is slightly depressed. The cork is slightly depressed. So I will just draw the diagram. It is pressed inwards, slightly depressed through a small displacement. So slightly it is displaced. So it goes down through a small displacement, let us say x. It is slightly depressed and then released. When it is slightly depressed and then released, then the cork starts moving up and down about the mean position, right? Show that the cork oscillates up and down simple harmonically with a period t equal to 2 pi square root of h sigma upon rho g, where sigma is the density of the cork and rho is the density of liquid. Here we have to ignore the dampening effect of the liquid. Dampening effect means after some times, you see, because of the viscosity of the liquid, the oscillations die out. That is what we call it as dampening. Oscillations reduce and finally the cork comes to halt. We are ignoring the viscosity of the liquid and dampening effect of the liquid. So if that is the case, you are asked to calculate the time period and show that it is equal to 2 pi square root of h sigma upon rho g. Here first we have to find out what is the upthrust that is exerted on this cork when it is slightly depressed inside, right? So we write the things what are given. Base area of cylindrical cork equal to A. Then height of the cork is given. Height of the cork is h. And I have already given the density of the cork as sigma and density of the liquid as rho. This is sigma, density of the cork, and rho is the density of the liquid. So density of the cork must be less than the density of liquid. Like you can think of water. Since density of cork is less than the density of water, then only it can float. Now, in equilibrium, according to Archimedes principle, weight of the cork is equal to weight of the liquid displaced by the cork. I think you know this Archimedes principle. Archimedes principle states that in equilibrium, weight of the cork is equal to weight of the liquid displaced by the cork. This is according to Archimedes principle. Then we'll now calculate weight of the cork, and we'll now calculate when we depress it and release, what is the restoring force acting on the cork. Restoring force acting on the cork must be an upthrust. So the upthrust must be calculated using the Archimedes principle. So that upthrust itself will be acting as a restoring force. As a result, when it is just pressed inwards and released, when it is just depressed inwards through a small displacement x and released, the cork oscillates about the mean position. So let x be the slight displacement. Let x be the displacement that is through the water. Then we can calculate the upthrust. Let the cork be depressed. Let the cork be depressed through a slight displacement x. By x. Then, as a result, some extra water or extra liquid of certain volume is displaced. As a result, some extra liquid of certain volume is displaced. Hence, extra thrust acts upwards. That itself be the restoring force. That itself will be the restoring force which we are calculating as upthrust. Some extra thrust acts upward and provides the restoring force. Now we will calculate that extra thrust, which is equal to weight of the volume of the liquid displaced. That becomes the upthrust. So upthrust is calculated as restoring force F. According to Archimedes principle, upthrust restoring force F is equal to weight of the extra liquid displaced. Right? So if you just recall the diagram, suppose this is the liquid, and if the cylinder is pushed inwards through a small displacement x and it's of surface area A, then volume of the liquid displaced is equal to volume of the cork that is depressed inwards. Volume of the cork depressed is equal to circular area into this height x. So that becomes the volume. Ax becomes the volume. So with the help of the volume of this, we can calculate the weight of the extra liquid displaced. Therefore, upthrust or restoring force F is equal to volume of the liquid displaced into density. Volume of the liquid displaced that is volume of the cylinder depressed into density of liquid into acceleration due to gravity. So that gives you upthrust, which is in the upward direction. So that is equal to volume of the liquid displaced is, as I have said, A into x. Ax into density of this liquid is rho into acceleration due to gravity g. So this becomes the force. Now, since it is in the upward direction, this upthrust is in the upward direction, so restoring force is opposite to the displacement. Displacement is vertically downwards. Restoring force is vertically upwards. Therefore, from this I can write it as, it is actually negative sign. So I can write A rho g into x. A rho g into x with negative sign. The negative sign symbolizes that it is a restoring force which is opposing the slight depression. The slight depression here is by exerting the pressure here, it is depressed into small displacement x. So this upthrust opposes this displacement. Therefore, negative sign is taken. Negative sign to show that upthrust is against displacement x. Therefore, we can see that if you take this A rho g as a constant, then F is equal to minus kx. So this is the force law. Force law acting on oscillating cork. F is equal to minus kx. So force is directly proportional to negative of x. Force is directly proportional to negative of x. So this shows that cork oscillates simple harmonically. This is the condition for the cork to oscillate simple harmonically. Condition for any object to have simple harmonic motion. So this shows that cork oscillates simple harmonically. Means cork oscillates with simple harmonic motion, SHM, right? If cork oscillates with simple harmonic motion, then directly we can calculate what is the time period. Then time period of oscillation. for SHM. Once you prove that it is obeying the force law of SHM, then definitely oscillating cork undergoes simple harmonic motion. Then time period of oscillation directly we can use T equal to 2 pi square root of K by M. I think M by K, square root of M by K. M by K, where M is mass of the cork and K is the force constant. Force constant which we got it here as minus A rho G. K is equal to A rho G, that's it. From above equation, of upthrust, K is equal to A rho G. K is equal to A rho G. Now, what is mass of the cork? Mass of the cork is equal to volume of the cork into its density. Mass of the cork M is equal to volume of the cork into density of the cork. Volume of the cork is A into H. The complete height of the cork is H and area of base is A. So A into H into density. Density of the cork is sigma. A H sigma. A H sigma. So if we substitute these, we get the required equation, right? Substituting mass and substituting the constant, force constant. This is called force constant. Using force constant and mass, if you substitute, in the numerator you will get AH sigma, and in the denominator you will get A rho sigma. So A cancels and I think sigma G will not come there, right? Okay. I will just substitute and we will verify. So we have mass M of the cork is equal to, we have just now got AH sigma and the force constant K equal to A rho G. Substituting in the time period of oscillations 2 pi square root of M by K. Substituting in this equation, we get thus T equal to 2 pi square root of M AH sigma divided by A rho G. A cancels, thus you are left with, therefore T is equal to 2 pi square root of H sigma upon rho G. So this is how we get time period of oscillations. Which is asked to prove here. T equal to 2 pi square root of H sigma divided by rho G, where sigma is the density of the cork and rho is the density of the liquid. So when such numerical problems are asked, first you have to prove that the force acting on the oscillating body obeys the force law of simple harmonic motion. F is equal to minus kx. So once you get that form of equation, then you will get the value of the force constant k. Once you get the force constant k, then you are proving that those oscillations, here in this case up and down oscillations of the cork, are simple harmonic in nature. So once they are simple harmonic in nature, we have proved that time period of oscillation for simple harmonic motion is given by 2 pi square root of m by k, where m is the mass of the oscillating body and k is the force constant. Just substitute the values of mass and force constant, we will get the result of the time period of oscillation. If frequency is asked, just the reciprocal. Frequency can also be asked in the question. Frequency nu is equal to 1 by t. Just reciprocal of this 1 upon 2 pi square root of rho g upon h sigma. That's it. This becomes the frequency. This is how you are asked to prove and you have to calculate. Okay. Such numerical problems may be asked in the examinations. Okay. Please solve this once or twice. It's a very simple one, wherein application of Archimedes principle is observed. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.